Hey guys, so coming on so that we can finish up these super cute earrings and everything. So give me just a minute. It's a little tight in my area. And I gotta squeeze in here so I can sit down and we can get to crafting. Getting my two Dremel tools. I'm going to move my molds out of the space a little bit because I am going to be Dremeling these and getting them cleaned up and ready to be worn. But I wanted to move you closer and so that you could see me. Okay, sorry. Had a text from my dad, and I had to determine if it was an emergency one or if it can be replied to later. It can be replied to later. All right, so Dremel tool. Let's get my little deburring tool. So basically, we just want to clean these up. These are probably going to be some of the hardest ones to clean up. Now they do have kind of a lip here, and I might just be able to kind of break that off with my pliers, which will make dremeling and sanding that down a smidge easier. And just kind of take that off. And as best as we can. Okay. Let's see, any others that I should do while I'm here? You can sometimes take a pair of scissors and take a little bit of that off too, if you need to, but I think we're pretty good. So I'm going to take our little, this is just a nail file one, but it's got the sander on it. And I'm going to take it and just very finely clean up this edge. Basically, I want to have it be even on the whole side. You do need to be careful that you don't like create a valley on it, go too much. So I'm just trying to take off mainly this one side and then even it out with the same level that the mold would have been so that it's a nice smooth bit. This does create a ton of dust. I would suggest covering things or maybe putting down a little bit of parchment paper. Would have been smart of me, but oh well, we're already in it. And that's what I always do. I just kind of dive in and then I'm like, oh, it would be smart to put that down. Okay. I think that one's pretty good. It's a little rough bumps right there. Let me just smooth that out. Perfect. Okay, ready? Yeah, looking good. And we'll wipe these off with a little bit of water here once we're all done. And before we do anything else to finish them off, just because of all the dust that we're creating. So the little nail file one is powerful enough for like little bits that we're doing here. If I needed something more powerful, I would use this tool, but I like to keep my drill bit on that tool if I can at all possible, which is what I have on it currently. And I was just thinking, if we're going to drill, I need to have something that I'm drilling into through. And Yep. That might be the one thing that I did not grab myself. And I don't even see what I normally use. So that's fun. Well, we're going to use this little plastic thing because I'm not worried about if it gets a little hole or something, or a little drill, just because. So with my drill bit, I know there's mostly a hole, but there's not quite a full hole all the way through. And so I just need to get that to come all the way through and make that hole just enough big that I can get my jewelry piece. Probably won't be a jump ring, but some kind of hook to go in there. I can probably just do it by holding. I kind of am going from the front to the back on this one. I went back to the front on the other, but ultimately doesn't matter. That hole is mostly there. It's just getting it to finish off, and that's a little rough right there. Just trying to clean that up. Okay. Sweet. So sweet. And I just put that on the lowest setting. It was really easy. Okay. Let's look at these guys. They need some help. That's for sure. Whoa. I accidentally, this does have different speeds, and I turned it way too up. I'm just trying to take the extra resin off, just on the edges. And make this not be sharp, basically. Might need it to be a little faster. And the faster is just how quickly it's spinning to help get your tool working. Now this one is kind of rough on the back, so I'm going to go ahead and try to just get this pretty level. Watch your fingers when you do this. It won't hurt per se, but you also don't want to do yourself a scraped up. And then what I'm going to end up doing with these, because I'm not really worried about the backs per se, I am going to just paint a coat of my paint pen onto the back. That way it has a solid color. I know we did that red, but it just didn't really come out very well. So I'm not going to stress over it, and I'm just going to put a gold paint pen, paint the back. Okay. When you have a big piece like this, it's almost wise to try to cut that down a little bit. But I'm just rolling with it, literally, because we're spinning this tool, rolling. So dusty. Actually, it reminds me I'm gonna throw my air filter on because it can't hurt. Okay. If you can hear bass, that's somebody driving by. Goodness gracious. Now they're both up. This one really doesn't have a ton. It's just a like very tiny amount. And so I'm just gonna go pretty quickly around. And it doesn't even need the back scuffed up, like it's smooth all along the back. So I'm not worried about it. That was the nice thing about these. They just came together so beautifully. I'll have to decide which part we want to put our hole in. Oh, so pretty. All right, we're going to kind of keep going. We're on a roll. Now with these, could be a little bit interesting to hold them, just because it might try to catch and fling it out of my hands. So just gotta be aware of that. That one had quite a bit there that needed to be. Round down. It's like, okay, can we get it? Yep. Sweet. Okay. This one's got such teeny tiny spots. I'm like, okay. We're just rolling with it right now. Once we get past this dremeling and everything, we'll get a chit chat a little bit more and I can go over the next steps a little bit better, but dremeling's always the loud part. These won't need a ton, and I do want to be a little bit careful with them just because they are more fragile. And I'm not going to be able to get this in the inside of it, but I can go along the outside. That's a pretty big chunk. Beautiful. Along the outside. Yes, I realize the inside still needs done, but that's okay. This has a weird, like, bubble right there. Take that down. Okay. Phew. Y'all wanted some dust, right? Right. So these I'm going to be very careful, but I'm just going to try to take my pliers and just take that little bit off. And then I might need to use the deburring tool just a little bit. I'm not going to give it a lot of pressure because these are pretty fragile. There's not a lot of resin there to hold them together, so I don't want to put a lot of pressure or force down, as it could just snap the piece. But look at that, it cleared up really pretty darn well with that. Just a nice gentle like move through. Let's see if it's as easy. Oh, I might just be able to pop it out with my fingernail. Okay. It's a little challenging because you get your little tool stuck up here. I'm like, I need my tool back. It ain't my tool. Alright, there's a little piece right here. If I can get it. Same right here. If I can get it, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. Between all the tools, we're going to get it. We got it. And when I'm looking at this one, I see kind of the same thing here, but I think I just got it. Okay, cool. Let's get a little spritz of water, which I know that I left that in a spot that was accessible. And then it's not where I swear I left it. Okay, so let's see. I just couldn't see it where I was sitting. Silly. So this is just a spray bottle of water that I keep. I'm just gonna wipe off my tool. Move this out of the way. And I'm just gonna gently basically wipe off our edges where we dremeled, just trying to get some of this dust essentially down. Almost need to get like one of those little vacuums or something, like a desk vacuum, and suck this all up and be done. And I hope you guys are getting a good view because my phone is even caked. So I'm hoping the camera side is truly recording a better view, but we'll just have to see. So, like I said, just kind of wiping each one down. If I need to, I can always spray a little bit more water. Sometimes the edges and just the way I'm wiping it is, you know, ripping the paper towel, but I ain't worried about that. Yeah, don't bother me. Okay. And then sometimes the easiest thing, because I have this on the mat, is just to take it over the trash can and dump as much as I can off. And then I just would take to catch those particles. Granted, you could use your water, but I just feel like rubbing alcohol cleans a lot better. Plus it will help get this mat clean again. And it obviously dries really quickly. So I'll just do that. Throw that away. Alright. Let's find one of my drilling boards, because if I don't, we're going to need it on these for sure. So I have one of these. It's just a piece of cardboard. I'm going to pause y'all and wipe everything down. Okay, I'm back. Just shift you a little bit. So this is just a piece of like corrugated cardboard that came in, you know, some kind of furniture or vacuum that was shipped to us, right? But because it's so thick, it's perfect for drilling holes because you can just go right through it and not worry about your surface and everything. And this isn't going to get through the whole thickness of that. Now, these ones being very fine, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm in the hole and I go straight down and straight up. I'm not going to do anything more on them. That one's actually clear, so that's good. These ones are going to be fun because we are going through quite a bit of resin. And those balls, I don't know if we're going to be able to go through them, so I'm going to have to go up a speed. I can't. Whew. Okay, we got through. Now, let's see if we, yeah, we got through and we busted up here. So that's not good. Because it like kind of broke. Got the bead out of there. And then I think we'll be able to fix it. Okay, I have a hole. Now it kind of pushed some of that resin right there out. So I'll probably have to do a touch-up of UV resin just to get that cleaned up. I'm going to try something different on this one. I'm going to try to go sideways. I'm still wanting to pop the resin. I should have left. What I should have done is left one of the parts of the star empty, or more empty. So I'm gonna, with this one, because it's just going from bad to worse, gonna just try to catch it with a different type of clamp. Same thing with this guy. I'm just going to make a small hole on the front and on the back to dip my little clamp hook in there. And then we'll seal it with some UV resin. That's how we're going to navigate that. This one needs one up here. See, when it's just regular resin, it goes so much smoother. Now, out of safety, this stopped because it caught so much resistance. So you just bring it back to speed. And then we're through. Much better. Okay. I'm like, I need one of these just to work, which, great, this one has those little balls in it too. Well, shuckser. So I'm going to create just an indent where I can put this clamp in. Okay. This one, we're just going to go right up here I should be able to go through the Santa hat because it's just like a clay thing, so it's not going to resist like those little balls are. So, it's there. That's all the way through. Okay. These ones are fun, y'all. What are we going to do? Okay, we're going to try. Again, to do a side clamp. Okay. Now, this one I feel like I gotta match that one and go down, and I think there's like a gap. Maybe not. I got it. That one actually worked. There was enough of a gap that I was able to kind of split and get in between them. So that's good. Okay, these guys. Oh yeah, we already did them. Okay. Whew. All right, that's the noisiest part, y'all. Now we can get these and finish them. Just move them over to our black surface. It's easier to see them that way. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit more. Whee! Okay, so now comes the fun. We get to make these into the jewelry pieces that we want them to be. Some of these are going to be easier than others, and we probably want to paint on some of them. Okay, I'm getting my silver and my gold ready, because some I'm going to do silver, some I'm going to do gold. This guy, because he's so wintry, I'm just going to add a little silver around his edge, just to give him that finished look. He doesn't need it on the back because we've got the pearls on the back. He's gonna sit sideways, I just realized, which is fine. Like, did I even Dremel this guy? Because the edges are a little sharp, but I did. Silver's not adding a ton of difference, but it is adding just a little. I guess just the one snowman sitting kind of sideways. These I think will get gold. These will get gold. Let's do one of these in silver, actually. Let's do our ones that the backs are going to get completely covered. So with these, you see how I'm just covering that? And that gives it that finished look. You could put another layer of resin on it and it would shine that right on up. But for me, this is the easiest way to get that just completed. And I think it gives it a good finalized look here. So I'll just paint those off. And then I will do their sides, but I wanted to let that kind of dry for just a second before I did the sides. So that's why I went to that one. And then I'll come back to this one, do its sides. It's a little weird where we've got this one with the holes. And then I'm going to hold it on its points. maybe. That's the other difficult thing when you're working with these small pieces. Sometimes you're like, where do I hold it? And I get it held good in my right hand, but I need it in my left for painting. I'm like, I can't do it the other way. Okay. Yay. It's coming along. Coming along. Alright. So I think that looks good. I got myself covered in a little bit of paint, but nothing crazy. So that's good. Like I said, I'm not like, there's enough going on the sides that you're not going to see if it's like full on or not full on. So, it's kind of one of those things. Like, and I'm not worried about it being like 1000% perfect. These will probably be, these were a trial set anyway. Oh, I like how it really has outlined the star. Okay, cool. All right, those are silver, that's silver. Let's see. I think the rest I'll do gold, so I'm just gonna close my silver up. These markers are like a uni paint pen. It marks on anything. Oh, but they are sometimes such a pain, and I use my gold a lot, so it seems like that lid just gets so stuck on, and I'm like, goodness, I need you to not be so on, but I want it on well so that it seals well. Okay, so we're going to make sure I'm in your frame of view. Cover this. You can see this gold is flowing out very nicely. You just don't want to touch it while it's wet. It will get you if you do. But it also doesn't take super long for it to dry. I'm going to say dry, wet, dry. And I was going to say maybe I paint the inside as well, but I really don't think so, and it's going to make it even harder. But I do want to paint the back side. So I just went ahead and laid this down so that I can paint the back side. Oh, I'm a little bit stuck. It's wanting to move around. Now, where I'm not going to worry about the paint so much is up by my connection piece up here. So that's where I'm going to touch it so that I can get this bottom done. And then if it has my fingerprint, oh well, because it's going to be hidden probably by our connection piece. And like I said, this doesn't take long to dry. These types of paint pens will literally mark on anything, and it stays. So they work really good. They do smell like a can of spray paint, and you probably could hear it rattling because that's the little marker or the little ball inside of it that's helps keep the paint fluid. So just know that is there. Okay, sweet. All right, same thing with these. I'm just going to go around the edge. Biggest thing you want to be careful of is not to get too fast and end up going on the front of your piece. I've done that. You don't have a lot of time for forgiveness if you do that. So if you do it, you gotta put your pen down and work to get that paint off like right then and there. Because if you don't, done for. I'm going to go ahead and just paint the backs of these ones too. I know we had some gold in there, but I just feel like it's going to have a more completed look if it has the back fully painted. When we turn it over, it's going to give it that finished look it just needs. So, and you can see my lines are all evening out, so it wasn't like, oh, you have to do it this way, you know, kind of thing. It's mostly forgiving, unless it's on the front of your piece. And then it is not forgiving, is what I would say. Like, yes, it is forgiving. Mostly. If it lands on the front of your piece, you are in trouble. So you gotta be careful, like if your fingers start to get caked in the paint, you know, this finger, I don't want to touch the front of my piece with that finger because it's got paint on it. And it could transfer. And I've done that. And it's rather disappointing. Especially if you just finished a beautiful piece and you're like, really? That now is got my fingerprint of paint on the front and it looks awful and now I can't get it off. You know, just a whole mess. Avoid that. Avoid that trauma if you can. Now, one downside too is that it is going to show your imperfections. So like if I have a rough corner, it's going to show that off. It's just part of it. And they don't have the ability to get in super, super tight spots. So like getting down in here and in between this is going to be non-existent unless I put some in a little cup and use a little silicone brush to get down in there, which we could do. I'm going to see how it looks first before I do all that work, because again, these are more just a trial and experiment kind of thing. I'm not looking to turn around and sell them, but look how that made that look so much different just from that little bit, you know, paint on it, because it's like it frames your piece basically. Now if you don't like that look, don't paint your edges. I would run a little bit of on your scuffed up parts, I would just run a very small thin layer of resin, cure that up, let it set, and call it a day. You would just add a smidge of resin to clean up your scuffs. And it just all depends on what look I'm going for. Because see, it darkens that. And see, I didn't clean that very well with that edge. So, this one I'm going to just try to get where I scuffed at. Like, just almost outline that part. I'm going to see if that will work. I have to do this tip right here because it got, there was dust from my drill hole. Take it out of there. And I'll do that tip to match. I'm just trying to do that little edge that I scuffed up. Reason for that is just to give it a small outline without going full on dark on it. Okay, so then we're down, hope those are silver. We're down to these ones. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go like, these didn't need a lot of cleanup. So if I just give it just that little bit where we scuffed it, I think that's all it really needs. Nobody has to know why we outlined, right? Like, perfect. And then it's nothing on the front. This is going to get cleaned up when we get our piece in there. And we're going to have to, oops, I just went right across it. Trying to go too fast. That's going to get cleaned up when we put our connection piece in. And once we do that, then we'll add a little bit of UV resin and it will be done. So, sweet. I love it. Love it, love it. Okay. That's my lid. So, let's add our hardware to this. These earrings and pendants and stuff. Couldn't get the marker back in there. So come on. Okay, so I have these, I think they're called C-clamps. And I think they're going to be our best friend on a lot of these because of the way our holes were. I don't have gold ones, so I'm just going to have to run with silver, and that's just how it's going to be. But a C-clamp essentially is like a C, and it goes around. This is my smallest set. Oh, these aren't fully dry by any means. So I just full on covered myself. And I gotta be very careful to not touch the front. These could have probably used a jump ring and would have been fine. Now I love the gold on the back of that though, because that gives it a very completed look in my opinion. I feel like I have paint all over me now. So a little rubbing alcohol on the fingers. Get that cleaned up and off of me. So is this not like dry? I mean, it is, so I don't know why I felt like I got it all over me. Like, not really sure. Let me get some of my bigger ones here for these ones. So if you recall, I just put like a notch on them. And that allows that clamp to go in there and latch onto something. Now, I am probably, because it can't go all the way through, which is what these are designed for, more so. Let's stick this through. Well, that one I actually got in further. Oh no. I thought I did. I was like, oh, it went like way in there, y'all. What am I talking about? Like, I don't even think it went in there. Okay, so that's not gonna work so much. I have to think about that. Oh, my hands stink from it. From that rubbing alcohol and the paint pen mix. Ugh. I can't even describe that smell that I'm getting. It's disgusting. Ugh, okay. So basically you just clamp them together and then it's in there. And that's how you want it. The problem with these is that we don't have a true genuine hole for them to connect to. And I thought maybe they would work, but they are not. So this is going to just be a fail for these that I couldn't get a hole in for now. I'm going to have to rethink, like I'll probably have to wire wrap them or something to make them work. The ones that I have holes in, these clamps will work. Just got to get this re-bent so that it goes in the hole. Basically you want to get it in both sides of the hole and then gently squeeze it together at the hole so that both sides come together inside the hole. Let's see how many times I can say hole in this episode and drink to that, y'all. Whether you're drinking liquor or cup of water or tea, I'll help you stay hydrated, okay? So this one might work. That one actually might work because I think I got it in there enough that it's not gonna just pop loose. You know, because you want to think that, like, can I pull on it and it not just fall off? So that one's pretty good. You could add a jump ring to that and then thread it on a necklace. So that one's cute. Okay, this one is a no-go. Let's try to get our no-goes out of the way. I didn't make it all the way through. And I did not make it all the way through on those. So those are not a lot. That one I did make it through. This one I made it through. These are gonna get and this one I made through. Okay. These ones probably only need the small C-clamps. I'm using a little bit bigger ones for these just because it gives me a little more room to work on getting both sides connected. Squeezed in. Yay! That one you can just run a string through or a necklace and it's ready. So that's cute. Let's see on this one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Love it. I might still put just a little bit of UV resin just to secure that one spot of it because I'm afraid it would try to break off over on this side, though I think I got it pretty well now. But I'm going to put just a drop of resin in there. And we're not even going to pull out our full light here. We're just going to, whoa, maybe end up way more than a drop and have way more of a mess. But a little silicone brush, and we're going to have this all cleaned up. Now, I'm going to make sure this is facing the direction I need it to face, just in case this seals that in there. But I have this little curing light, and we're just going to cure it up while we're here. That way we don't have to pull out the big light. It's just a small minor thing that we're doing. It will finish curing too as it sits. It's not like I'm going to go and put these on right now. But I love this. It's counterculture DIY. You can get them on Amazon too, but it's just little UV light that's got, you know, power to do small things like that. So we don't have to hit the big one out. So I have these C-clamps in, these actually might have been the mediums, but anyway, 3 sizes basically, though. I think these ones are like shorter and these are taller maybe. And then these are just like small all the way around. They're just smaller. And I have really, they've been a game changer when I'm working with UV resin. If I'm doing beading, you know, doing a, oh, that gold back just makes that pop so much better. If I'm doing beading, doing your jump rings are perfect. So they can drive you crazy. But for resin work, this is the way to go. For sure. For sure, for sure. Alright. Yay. Those look so good. Alright, so we want to add our earring pieces. So I'm going to add 2. They're all like stuck together. We're slowly getting them. Okay, like that. And then I need some jumbo rings. I don't want anything crazy big, so I went with my smallest. Although on these ones, I'm going to need the bigger one. So for this, that's how it's going to be. And I just have a little toolbox over here that holds like all my earring and jewelry kind of pieces, which just helps me when I'm ready to do a video like this or ready to make something. Jump ring tool is phenomenal. I absolutely love having a jump ring tool. And actually these might need the bigger ones. Let's just see. I'm not holding this jump ring the best of way for me. Let's see. Yep, it's going to need the bigger one because it doesn't have enough room to go around. So, 'tis what it be. Sometimes you just gotta go bigger, and that's fine. Okay, so we want to think about this and make sure that we put the back of our earring at the loop at the back of our actual earring piece. Oh my goodness, I so want to wear these. These are so cute. I do believe I will be wearing those this weekend, if not tomorrow, because I just love them, and they're so light, y'all. I mean, just so dang light. I know this part's hard to watch, and I apologize. There's just not a good way to video this part, but look at that. They're just, I just love them. I absolutely love them. So stunning to me. It's like so simplistic. And I think I was saying I don't always love that small of a mold, but it just came out so beautifully. So I just truly love that. Alright. So, biggest thing is getting your jump rings closed. Making sure they're closed and making sure your earring is going to lay correctly. You don't want your hook to go the wrong way, and then when somebody puts on the earring is facing, the detailed part is facing backwards. That's no fun. They need to be able to show off the fun. These ones, even with all this extra resin in them, aren't that heavy. I don't know how they would be in the ear. I'm a little worried about the stars more than anything. They've got a lot more weight to them, but those are cute. Those are really cute. I think I got, so you know how I said about paint on the front? This one got just a little bit right there where the, this top red sprinkle is. I don't think it's super noticeable. I think it's more noticeable because I know it's there. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. If you've ever tried to open a jump ring without this tool, you will full on appreciate the tool once you have it. I hunted high and low for my tool. Hobby Lobby sells them. And then more recently I got one, I think my daughter actually got one in a kit. And she's, Mom, I don't know what this is. I'm not going to use it. And I was like, don't get rid of it. I was like, my precious, I must have the jump ring. Just because, you know, when you feel deprived as a kid. Yep. I know. Big issues. I was deprived of a jump ring tool because I didn't even know it existed. as a kid. But yeah, so now I have 2 of them, and I try to always put them back in the same spot. If I could only do better with the rest of my stuff, as you guys know, we'd be golden. Like, I'm gonna put these jump rings away right now, and I'm gonna put my jump ring tool away right now so that I don't lose it, because otherwise I will. Okay, I'm so excited, y'all. Look at these. Granted, we had some fails. Unable to finish. Look at how cute these are. Oh, I just love them. I love them. I really am going to take them and wear them. Potentially tomorrow. Speaking of which, I am going to get backs for them so that I can wear them tomorrow. So I have the little silicone backs. This has all kinds of different backs in it. I've got more silicone ones somewhere. All over. But my ears just don't do good without a back on them. I don't know why. I tend to lose earrings if I don't have a back. So even with dinglies, I just have to have that silicone back. But these are definitely my favorite of this set that we did. They are so cute. Super light. I really like these now that we put the gold backing on them. I think those came out really cute. Get up here and let the camera focus, right? Focus. Those are cute. They're going to be a little bit heavier. These are going to be definitely ones that I would like wear to a party and then take off. I love them though. I do love these little ball things. And this is nice, and it's still, this turns, so that's good, but I feel like this is secure, that that's not gonna crumble on us. And then these, I wish I had something to get this part. Let me see if this will let me kind of clean that little bit out of there. I wanted it to be more satisfying, and it's not really satisfying, but that's a little bit better. Look at these. Aren't they cute? Sorry, it's really, I'm so short, it's hard for me to see if the camera focuses or what happens when I come close. I'm like, did it focus? And then I try to hold my hand still, but I don't know about y'all, but anytime somebody's like, don't breathe, I'm like, I can't not breathe. And then I'm really hyper focused on it, and then I feel like I'm moving or doing it. Same thing. I'm trying not to move, and I feel like I'm doing this to you guys when I know I'm not, but I know that I'm moving more than I should. So these are our 3 kind of fails. Like, I don't know how we're gonna attach things to them. So they might be like a wire wrap thing. Well, we'll see. Or they might just go inside of something else that we create later. You know, because we don't throw it away. Oh, let me put these away. So yeah, there we have it, y'all. I hope you have enjoyed this quick little series. I know it's not a super long one, but you know, sometimes it's nice to get through projects. It's Christmas time almost. This will come out before Christmas. And so just in time for these to be enjoyed. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'm hoping to not have any gap in tutorials, because I have another one lined up. So stay tuned. Shouldn't see any change. If I do take a hiatus, it's going to probably be the end of January. So don't be alarmed if you don't see a video. I might just post like a quick short on my YouTube and let y'all know. I just might not have enough built up before my niece comes, which is super exciting. So first time being an aunt, and I can't wait. So I am going to make that a priority, and that just means that this will, my YouTube just may or may not get it. I'm going to try to not have a gap, but just know that that might happen coming into the new year. But anyway, and like I said, I'll probably just pop on and give you guys a short video then, just to let you know what's happening and that I'm not lost, that I'm coming back. All right. Yeah, I will see you guys again soon. Have a good night. Bye.